Okay, that's just to explain some of the terms that you're going to see across the 5 weeks of the GPP program that you're about to do. Now, first of all, just to cover the warm-up, so you'll see that there's the same warm-up on the Monday, Wednesday and Friday each week. So the same running warm-up and the same warm-up for the body weight stuff. Starts off with a 500 meter jog into some stretches and then finishing off at 500 meters again. That's a rough guide. You don't have to do that exact warm-up every time. I would vary it up. You could go 250 meter jog, stretch, and maybe repeat that 4 times. It's just something to make sure that by the time you get to that first run in the working sets, that you've got a bit of a sweat going and you're a little bit out of breath already. And again, spend extra time on any areas for the stretching that you feel you need to. The main thing to cover though today is just going into the 3 terms that you'll see on your running stuff. So the easy, moderate and hard, and how to gauge whether you're at the right tempo for each run. When it says easy, that should feel like a warm-up or cool down, very, very slow, conversational pace. So that means that if you are running with somebody else, that you should be able to chat comfortably enough during that. So your breathing should be very controlled, should be able to breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth, maybe even just nasal breathing if you want to really get the lungs opened up, in through the nose, out through the nose, nice and slowly. If you do have wearables, that'll be your heart rate will be at 50 to 70%. You're talking about zones 1, 2, maybe very low 3. If you have Garmin or Polar or whatever, but you don't need those. Just make sure conversational pace, that you'd be able to chat if somebody was there the whole way around on the easy intervals. Moderate then, we're upping our pace. Breathing should get a bit heavier. You shouldn't be able to have a conversation during your moderate runs. We should be going that hard that our breathing is a little bit harder to control. If you have wearables again, your heart rate should be above 70. Probably more towards 80, but less than 85%. We're talking about zone 3 mainly, maybe into 4 a small bit. So again, if you don't have any wearables, it's easy just to make sure your breathing should be a bit heavier. Shouldn't be able to talk, but it should be a pace you can sustain for a few minutes. Hard again then, self-explanatory, really hard would be to go up the pace again. Breathing should be fairly out of control here. We are 85% or plus if you have a wearable that will measure that. Zone 4, probably into zone 5, and you're going to try to go for a fast time in that interval. But maybe not always the fastest time you can get, because if we are doing repeats, so a lot of the workouts will have repeat intervals. So for example, if you're doing 500 meters 4 times with maybe 3 or 4 minutes rest in between, then we don't want to go all out on that first interval. We want to evenly distribute our energy. So we want to go hard for the first interval, but bear in mind that you've got maybe a 3-minute rest before you go again. We don't want our last interval to be kind of a waste of time because we're going so slow. We want to be able to go with a good even split. So say if you're doing 500 meters by 4 and each interval is taking you maybe 2 minutes or whatever, you want to be in or around the 2 for each of them. You don't want to be taking 1.5 minutes for your first time and then 5 minutes for your last time. You want to be evenly distributing your energy across those intervals. But on all those hard intervals, we are putting in a hard effort on all of those. So that is it. So basically vary the warm-up and just pay attention to each. Make sure you're going really easy for the easy ones, more of a sustainable but harder rate for the moderate, and when we're going hard, we're putting in a high amount of effort.